And a good Sunday to you. Jose here again, Joe. um, to again talk about the deep tracks, um, kind of obscure, but to an extent not so obscure. Some of them. Um, but today we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back a little bit. This one is kind of a little out there. Not you know. Um, the extremes of the artists. It's a cover song by a certain artist, um, but the extremes it had. One artist was kind of soft, mellow. The other artist is a little bit heavier, innovators, in their craft. But today we are going to talk about a folk song that was turned into a hard rock and roll song. Talking about Joan Baez, Diamonds and Rust, um, off her self-titled or Diamonds and Rust album. Okay. So this song was released in 1975. Judas Priest covered it on their Sin After Sin album 2 years later. Okay. The weird thing about this one is, as a metal fan myself, when I heard this song, of course, I liked it. Oh, cool song. Coming to find out, like usually happens, Joan Baez was the writer. I'm like, oh wow, Joan Baez. I mean, I've heard "Blowing in the Wind" and stuff. Her cover of Bob Dylan's anthem. I was like, wow, what a song for Judas Priest to pick, right? um, it was a hit for her, and it was semi-hit for them too. But as the years went by, Judas Priest kind of evolved into these innovators of really, really heavy metal. In the '70s, they were classified more as a hard rock band. Come 1980, British Steel, they're just a full-on, at the time, heavy, heavy band. Um, the original song, of course, is soft acoustic, folk. Um, but when Priest did it, it just became um, kind of weird in that way. Them being a very innovative heavy metal band doing, somebody's folk song. But it was a semi-hit for them in Europe. Um, but like I said, years later, the fandom grew. New fans came along in the '80s, hardcore fans, and the song kind of got lost in the cracks. I mean, you'd have to be a really, really fanatic to go in depth, song titles, who produced, who wrote. You come across Joan Baez, like wow. I'm a big fan of folk music. Metal's in my heart. That's my main thing. But as a music fan, you gotta expand your horizons. Metal derived from the blues. Blues goes back to the '30s, '40s. So you gotta go back and just delve into that music. Where the roots. Like a lot of people say, just the roots where all this stuff comes from. Um, but again, I got this album, I believe, at a garage sale. I believe, yeah. Again, I'm driving around, see a garage sale, happen to be records there. Look in there, and boom, you know, um, get a little splash of gold here. Okay, no pun intended with the diamonds, but yeah, yeah. Um, but take a listen to that song. Um, Joan Baez, really good, really good. Again, 2 years later to do it and for it to have a little bit of success for Priest as they were starting, that's great. It's good. Um, Gonna do a little bit of trivia on some of these. Um, I'm sure who is a fan of this will know, but who sang backup vocals on this album with her? One of her contemporaries. Okay. Um, if you know folk, you should know this answer. But another great singer. Okay. But yeah, check out Priest's versions. It's pretty good. Um, it was a producer's decision to include that on the album. But Rob Halford, with his vocal range, I mean, he did really good on it. Um, but yeah, off the Diamonds and Rust album, released in 1975, going back to the 70s here again. Okay, and it's off the Sin After Sin for Priest. Okay, again, I'll see you on the next one. This is Deep Tracks on Sundays. Okay, friend Joe.